you will see Umuoye, you will see Ubulie Umueze, you will see Azara, you will see Umuoye, and many more. They are in Kogi State, they are Igbo. Are you listening? You want us to leave our people and go? Of course not. Of course not. Now you understand it. How serious we are. We are not Ohanes and Datron and Dioshi. We are more than that garbage. We are here to rescue the children of God. You children of Satan can be on your own in the north. Fulani Janjaweed. Move your cattle from village to village. Slaughter yourselves. That is your business. For us, we are doing the work that Elohim Chukwukikabiama asked us to do in this very time. And that is what we are doing. We are not leaving anybody behind. You must bear that in mind. And to round up this issue of the balkanization and the gerrymandering of our borders, there was something that somebody sent to me, published in a newspaper in the Zoological Republic. I will read the headline for you. Lady shares landlord's text messages saying, I don't want Igbo tenants and tenants from South. As we said before, they come to you and they say, you're not Igbo, you're Niger Delta, you're South. But when you go to the north and elsewhere, when the discrimination descends upon you, you are all one people. And I want to read the exchanges between a woman who was rejected and the agent of the landlord for a house in Lagos. Listen very carefully, please. A Nigerian lady who is in search of a house in Lagos took to Twitter to share her screenshots of the chat between her and an agent standing in for a landlord. The lady identified herself as Mary Ufot, U-F-O-T, who hails from Akwa Ibom State. She revealed that the agent inquired where she's from and told her that Igbo tenants are not wanted. This is Lagos. Mary revealed that although she mentioned that she's not Igbo, she said she's not Igbo, the agent still told her that those from Akwa Ibom are still considered as Igbo people in Lagos. When you tell people the truth, they don't want to understand it. We are all Igbo people. Forget about the subgroups that are within. That was why I asked them, if you're in doubt, if you don't know who you are, go to where people have done research. Go to Google and ask yourself, who am I? Google will tell you who you are. And it has happened. They told her, your name is Mary Ufot, you're from Akwa Ibom. You actually Igbo to us. She's busy hiding who she is. I don't know, I'm not Igbo. I'm not related to them. No, I'm not. Because somebody has been feeding them junk over the years about people dominating them, about people taking over their lives, the same rubbish they told to Southern Kaduna people, the same nonsense they told Middle Belt people. Today, the same people that told them Igbo man is your problem, Biafra is your problem, are the ones raping, killing, pillaging, and taking over their land from them. Did Britain tweet about Fulani headsmen? Did the British High Commissioner tweet about Fulani headsmen? No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't want to say anything that will stop their business empire. Nigeria is a business, it's not a country. It is just a mere British business. And the Fulani are benefiting. That is why they even came out to campaign that SARS should continue. Because SARS is helping them to eliminate a great number of young people in the South. That is the zoo for you. The damnable Zoological Republic. Very, very sad indeed. Extremely sad indeed. Even Sweden came out to condemn the killing of the attack on protesters by SARS. Sweden condemns attack on protesters by Nigeria police. They spoke of, maybe they've been waiting for very many years, saying Nigeria is very horrible. They've been waiting for very many years, and all of a sudden, finally, at last, they can now see how horrible and how evil the zoo is. I'll read you the tweet from Sweden. Sweden condemns all forms of violence and acknowledges the human right to peaceful protest. Now they are speaking, but IPOB was protesting. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was harmed. They asked them to come and kill us. Now Sweden is tweeting that protest is a very good thing. People should go out and protest, and berating the Zoological Republic for attacking peaceful protesters. That is Sweden. You know that the whites are superior to blacks. So now that the whites are speaking up, we can now follow. That is why even if you go to America, once a black man or black woman makes money, they want to move into a white neighborhood. Because they set the standard, that is the way it is, because they can reason. Black people cannot reason. That is why we are always following them. That is why we want them to lead all the time. Anything they say is fine. Anything they do is fine. After all, let's face the fact, all the inventions of the modern world came from them. All we have been doing is to beg, is to plead, and it has gotten us nowhere. Now that Sweden have condemned them, now the zoo newspapers can join in the condemnation. These were the same people that kept quiet when IPOB family members were being shot dead when we were protesting. Today, protest is now a good thing. And I want to tell you something about the zoo that people seem to forget, but it is the truth. This was something again that Ohaneze alluded to concerning the Eastern governors. Let me put it that way. We are not the chief security officers of our states. Or your state governor, Makinde fumes as SARS slaughters protesters in Obomosho. A governor of a state who constitutionally is the chief security officer of the state, which means if SARS is about to do something, the governor of the state can say, don't do that. Governor of the state can say to the police commissioner, don't deploy your men, don't kill anybody. But even in your state, these are people that want to keep Nigeria warm. These are people that claim they obey the law. These are people that claim that they are submissive to the Constitution of the Zoological Republic. A governor is telling you that he is not in charge of his state. What does that tell you? It's a feudal system. The Fulani emirs in the north, the Sultan of Sokoto, and the cabal, the criminals in Asorok, they run your lives. They determine who lives and who dies. A governor is lamented. The same governor believes in one Nigeria because he's making money. The family is living large from the allocation the state is getting, or from the patronage that is able to dispense. So he is living large, so he's enjoying it. What matters to him is the money he himself and his family are getting. It doesn't matter to him that the laws of the land are not being obeyed, that the fact that he's an executive governor, he's been relegated to a nobody. The people who are in charge of the states, if in case you don't know, are the commissioners of police and the DSS Director General reporting to the Fulani overall man in Abuja. Your governors are not in charge of their states. That is a fact of life. And here, the governor of Oyo State, Makinde, have come out openly to say it, that he is not in charge of his state. Oyo State Governor Mr. Sheyi Makinde has lamented that governors across the 36 states of the zoo, Nigeria, are not the chief officers, security officers of their state, as spelled out in the Constitution. Then what are you doing supporting one Nigeria? That is the difference between white people and black people. I don't know anywhere else in the world where people can be allowed to tolerate such levels of hypocrisy. The Fulani wrote the Constitution to suit them. The Fulani are controlling you through their own Constitution. Even aspects of that Constitution, they are not adhering to it. They are not obeying it. They are not sticking to it. Yet you, after seeing all these things, you still claim you want one Nigeria. That means there is something wrong with your brain. You're not correct. You are not correct. And somebody is actually writing to Commonwealth, they cannot do anything in this. So if people are seriously honest about ending the reign of mediocrity, of corruption, of ineptitude, of backwardness, the reign of terrorism, the reign of poverty, and ineptitude, what you need to do is to expand the protest from end SARS to change the zoo, end the zoo. That is what is going to save you. People don't know that over the years, when they come and they say, oh no, you're not Biafra, you're Niger Delta, oh, you're not Igbo, you're Anioma, you're not Igbo, you're not Igbo, you're from God knows where. It is to weaken the resolve of the people, making it impossible for them to mount any organized resistance against their oppressor. The same classic move that Britain used. Britain came into the zoo and gave power to Fulani, knowing that Fulani is the most backward, the most primitive, the most uncultured, the most uneducated. They know that very well. Everybody knows. All of you listening, you know that Fulani is the most backward, they are the most idiotic, they have nothing to offer. Yet Britain gave them power. Because Britain understands the brain of a black person, that the best oppressor that you can ever get in your life is a black person. Get a black person to oppress a black person for you. And you have the perfect scenario, and that is what is happening. That is why they want one Nigeria. That is why what is happening in the zoo with SARS is resonating all over the world, because it does not affect the integrity of the sham, the fake sovereignty of the fake British sovereignty of Nigeria. A white man came from Europe and gave you sovereignty. You people are mad, honestly speaking. Anybody who supports one Nigeria, you're insane. A white man had to come to create sovereignty for you, and you're defending it with your life. And there you have 4 refineries, you cannot refine petrol. You give crude oil and you import refined petrol. And I'm glad to say that they even listen to us. Do you know that NNPC have changed they have now said that they're no longer going to be giving away crude oil for refined petrol as a result of our gospel on this very platform? Some of you don't know that. Go and read it up, it's there. So everybody's learning from what we are teaching. But we are here to preach and teach you the truth, and that is what we are doing ceaselessly all the time. They said that people are unfollowing Buhari. Buhari died since 2017. Why anybody will follow them, I do not know. But you don't want IPOB to be proven right. You don't want the world to say that, oh, Nnamdi Kanu is right. That is why people are cutting off their nose to spite their faces. They are suffering today because they have refused to follow the truth. The truth is that Buhari is no longer there. I published evidence after evidence. I showed the hand of Buhari in 2015, the palm of his hand. On my page, it is there. You can see from the palm of his hand that the man that was waving at you or showing you his thumbprint in 2015 is not the same man who is there now. Somebody came out to say, oh, it's because of the way he bent. Oh, God in heaven. And I asked the idiot, why don't you bend your hand like that and see, take a picture of your hand upright waving and then bend it and take another picture. You see if there is any difference. That tells you all you need to know. Because people have refused to reason. That is why Africa is backward, why Africa is poor, why we wait on the white man to do everything for us. Because we have failed to reason. And I will not stop hammering on it until Biafra is restored and beyond. The problem we have, wherever you have black people all over the world, the reason why we are backwards in everything we are doing is because of the way we reason. Not as individuals, but as a collective. And that is why on this very platform, we need to do all we can to change that type of mindset. And I want to make all of you understand something, that sometimes you think that what we are saying here, what we are preaching is not sinking. It is sinking in. Even the Supreme Court appointed Fulani administrator of Imo State is now singing a new tune, because sometimes in life, consistency is the key. As long as you're preaching the truth, as long as you're saying what is right before God in heaven and man on this very earth, after a while, even those that traduce you, even those who may have issues with what you're saying, or should I say the style with which we deliver it, will come to agree with you. I can't believe I'm reading this, that the Supreme Court administrator, Fulani administrator of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, you know what he said? That Nigeria is in the worst state of insecurity. I couldn't believe it. When I read it, I said, am I dreaming? And he said this thing in Abuja. Maybe he now knows that Yusuf Muhammad Abubakar is not the same person as Muhammad Buhari. At least his benefactor, Abba Kyari, is no longer there. I don't know what gave him the courage. I don't know what gave him the conviction. I have no idea. But from what he said here, it is absolutely astonishing. It may not be an exaggeration to say that the current wave of insecurity in the land is one of the worst in recent history, according to the administrator of Imo State. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Because despite all their best efforts, they have gone back, they have listened to what we are saying, and they know that what we are saying is the truth. And he knows that is in our bad books. He knows that very well. Or maybe he is trying to retrace his steps. He went on to say, the Fulani administrator of Imo State, truth to tell, in the last 10 years, the country has never had it this bad in terms of security challenges or insecurity, but who is in charge? Fulani Janjaweed. And there is something that is quite touching about Nigeria that some of you must learn tonight, and learn to accept the truth, that they have an agenda. They have an agenda, and Britain is the one pushing and supporting them. The day you will wake up to realize it will be too late. Some of you prefer political correctness to say things the right way. None of you is more British than I am. None of you love Britain more than I do. They are decent people. It's a very decent country. It is a very civilized country. And I love it. I had options of going to Sowell Aviation in Florida to go and study to be a pilot, but I said no, eventually, that I want to go to England to go and study. So I had a choice of either going to USA or to going to England. I decided to go to England. I said no to USA. For your information. So I am an Anglophile through and through. I believe that a Biafran has more in common with an average British person than we do with Fulani people. That is a fact of life. Britain believes in live and let live. They believe in equality. They believe in the supremacy of reason and logic. The same thing that we all believe in Biafra land. That is why, after listening to our gospel, our people can go back and say, all that nonsense that we are no longer Igbo, we are now coming out to exert our Igbo-ness. All the way from Benue to Edo to Bayelsa to everywhere. To say we are proud of who we are and our identity. Because we believe in conceding to reason and to logic. The same thing that Britain believes in. But there are horrible people in Britain, I must tell you the truth. There are racists. Those working for them in foreign and commonwealth offices, they are racists. They believe that a white man is superior to a black man. So you have to make do with Nigeria that we created. Who are you to try to tamper with what we created? We are white people. We are better than you. You are monkeys swinging from tree branch to tree branch. You are nothing. We brought you the Bible. Who are you? We gave you anything that you have around you, that you have today, we gave it to you as a result of colonialism. Because of that, you are nothing. Facebook has finally they can no longer take it. You know, the truth we preach here is awesome. Facebook can no longer take it. They suppressed it all the way to 300 and something people. Even at that, they can no longer take it. They decided to shut the whole thing down altogether. They have decided to shut it down. Brad Chimese is saying, I don't trust his translation. Your translation is an abomination. You are slaughtering our language. You are destroying our language. You are destroying it. Some of you won't believe what has happened. Do you know that Facebook has cut me off? I have gone back to try to get back on. And believe it or not, I no longer exist on my own page. My own page no longer. Facebook. They don't know who they play. They don't know who they are playing with. They don't know who we are, do they? Really? They don't know who we are. We are formidable, never say die attitude. We are IPOB. We did not become the #1 freedom fighting movement in the whole world for nothing. We are tenacious. Tenacious. There is an animal called ikiri. I don't know if any of you know what ikiri means. You hear about it, I don't know if when ikiri holds you on the wrist, it never lets go, even if you cut off the head. It's called a manoro. Because I grew up in the village. With some of us that grew up in the village, we know these things. That is who we are. We don't let go. I have come back on my page. Facebook kicked me out completely and decided not to suppress, to hide my page as well from me that owns it. So I cannot find it to go back. But I've gone back in. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're exposing them and they don't like it. They don't like it. Let me tell you what they have planned to do to you. They have tried Ruga. Ruga did not work. They have tried taking over our rivers and our streams. That did not work. They have tried highway, cattle highway did not work. They have tried every garbage, it did not work. They are now trying another one. You know what they're trying now again? What they're saying is that farmers headers class, federal government moves to rediscover lost grazing routes. They want to go back to the time of Ottoman Danfodio to discover grazing routes. But we want to tell them in those days, your cattle never used to come to Biafra land. We didn't know who you were. Your cattle only started to come to Biafra land as a result of one Nigeria after Lugard came, after Britain came with the experimentation. That is a fact of life. So today there is this headline: the federal government of Nigeria will be working with state governments to rediscover the lost grazing routes. What they want to do is to create what I call a Fulani terrorist superhighway. That's what they want to do, to create a Fulani terrorist superhighway. And the arch-terrorist now in the government is Garba Shehu. He disclosed this on Friday in a statement titled President Buhari, farmers will reap benefits of our policies. What they mean is that your life will be gone, your land will be gone. They have tried everything, it has failed. And I'm saying to Garba Shehu tonight, plan every highway you like. If you like, do it a tunnel or Fulani cattle tunnel on the ground. Rubbish in Biafra land, it will not work. I will not allow you to establish any Fulani colony in Biafra land. You will not have any grazing route in Biafra land. It will not happen. And I want to make Britain understand this as well. All you idiots hiding under one Nigeria to propagate Fulani expansionism, you have failed on arrival. You have failed. Over and over again, you have failed. All of you planning and hoping that you can use the cover of one Nigeria to spread Islam. Britain is hoping to spread Islam. Britain is telling British Muslims, oh, don't worry, we are giving you Nigeria. You can go to Nigeria and take over Nigeria. We are giving it to you. Leave our land for us. That is not going to work either. And I'm telling Katrina Land, if your mission in the zoo is to move this Fulani agenda forward so that you can witness the capture of Biafra land and the entire south by the Janjaweed North, then you are grossly mistaken, madam. You are mistaken. It's not going to work. What is this super highway of Fulani super highway where they can move their cattle easily? So that land will now belong to Fulani people permanently, in perpetuity. It's now Fulani land. That is one thing they want to do. All of you must be able to put on your thinking caps. There will be no movement of cattle. You claim you want to run a modern economy. Go and establish ranches in the north, in Sokoto, establish it in Kano, in Katsina, in all those places. Don't bring it to the middle belt or to the south. The thing about people is that sometimes in the zoo, they allow their prejudice to cloud their sense of judgment. People must try to be very objective. People come up every day to give one excuse or the other as to why they must not obey what we are telling them. But we are telling you, if you fail to do something, Fulani will swallow you whole. They have come with every trick. They have come with this one again, super highway for Fulani cattle super highway. That they should go and rediscover all their lost roots. I have no idea where they got this. I have no inkling where they got this stupid idea from. But somebody should please go and tell them that Biafra land is being guarded by IPOB Volunteer Command. There will be no Fulani settlement in Biafra land. I am telling them peacefully so they can go now before it's too late. Fulani, I am telling you, take your Janjaweed settlements in our land and leave us alone, or else Britain will not save you. If you want to rent a house, go to the township and rent a house. This idea, can you believe? I don't know why this present Fulani cabal, this present regime, all they're interested in is to propagate what will benefit Fulani headers. Fulani, I can't understand in this day and age. I can't understand. You go to every country in the world, you don't see cattle on the street. I don't know why they have this obsession. Is because they realize that people are so foolish. You will not see their game plan for what it is. You will be looking at their cattle and they're taking over your land and you will not know. You will not know. That is why we must, as a matter of fact, do all we can to ensure that Fulani Janjaweed do not have any established route in our land. We are telling Garuba Shehu, you can take that your nonsense. You claim you have land. You claim our land is very tiny. Then why are you coming? You claim we are very, very tiny. Then why are you coming? Garuba Shehu is turning out to become or to be the spokesperson of the terrorists in this very government of Yusuf Muhammad Abubakar. That is his name. Somebody came on my page and said that, I thought he said is, people who don't listen, they don't reason, they're so foolish. I thought he said what's his name again? The idiot that replaced Buhari when he died, Jubril. I thought he said is Aminu Jubril. I said to him, but so didn't you listen to Radio Biafra when I told you that Jubril traveled to Cuba and upon the death of Abba Kyari, he ran away from there with COVID-19 and he's presumed dead. Did I not tell you that? You heard me say it only. The day he left, I told you. People, they play with us. They don't know the type of intelligence at our disposal. I told you the day that Jubril ran away. I told you that very statement he made from a hotel basement in Cuba was the last time he will ever speak, that he will not come back. We tracked him all the way to South Africa, thinking he will come to the zoo. The last evacuation flight from Cuba to South Africa, he was there. He caught COVID-19. Where he ran to, if he has run back to Sudan, we don't know. And I told you that Aisha Buhari's boyfriend has now taken over. His name is Yusuf Muhammad Abubakar. It's as simple as that. Even Boko Haram knows about him. Go and look at the clip. Go and look at the clip by Shekau. Shekau was mentioning his name, calling him Nigeria's president, and the white man was there translating. Nigeria's president is Yusuf Muhammad. His surname is Abubakar. Well, I know that very well. And people play with us at their own peril. They don't know who we are. I have said to them, rather than coming out on the streets and wasting your life on End SARS now, just to end the idiot who is an asshole, unmask him. Remove the mask. Remove the mask on the face of the impostor. Remove the mask on the face of Aisha Buhari's boyfriend, and it will be game over. But they wouldn't do it because they have their slavish colonial mentality in their brain. Some of the idiots in the zoo want to maintain one Nigeria. Despite the fact that they are suffering, of course, that is why they are black. If they are not black, they won't be thinking that way. All of a sudden, again, we try to get back in. Facebook allowed us to get to 1.6, and of course, they brought us down again to 700. That is where they are. Are they going to stop us? No, that goes to show that what we are saying is working, that the whole world is listening. The whole world is listening. Garuba Shehu, you're wasting your time. This Fulani grazing highway you're planning is dead on arrival. It can never wash with us. It can wash with the fools, those who have succeeded in intimidating, not IPOB. It is not going to work. The same way that they keep on killing people and they keep on saying gas explosion. And I asked them, only in this year, 2020, you've had nearly 4 gas explosions that have killed over 6,000 people. More gas explosions in 1 year than you have had in the past 60 years. Nobody is thinking, and when it happens, they call it a gas explosion. Fulani are busy depleting your numbers, they're busy killing you, and you people cannot reason, you cannot think very well. Lagosians blame government as gas explosion kills 6. How come this gas explosion has not been killing people in other African countries? How come it has not been killing people for the past 60 years? All of a sudden, gas explosion, because Fulani terrorism is everywhere, and it is Fulani government who are busy, their politicians who are busy sponsoring it. And I want to compare, I want to go back and play what Garuba Shehu said to a journalist many years back. Those of you who are waiting for governments of the world, you want Boris Johnson to stand up and say, IPOB wrote to us and we are investigating what they said and we are taking them very seriously. And Biafra will come. You see how foolish they are? People who are so foolish. They have not been anywhere. They have not attended any meeting, no conferences, no nothing. They know nobody. They saw me when I went to Geneva and I went to go and see the UN in Geneva. They saw it with their two naked eyes. They were there when I went to EU. They were there when I went to Capitol Hill in America, lobbying and speaking to US senators. They were there. They don't know anybody. The idiots have not even spoken to their local councillor about Biafra. We are waiting to hear something from. Do you see how foolish they are? You have forgotten in your idiocy and stupidity that the zoo, Nigeria, is a sovereign nation built by a white country, built by Britain. That Britain has sovereignty over Nigeria. That Nigeria is considered a British property. You don't understand that because you're dumb and you're foolish. But here, we shall educate you. Here, we shall endeavor to bring enlightenment to your dead zoo black brain. I am going to play an interview for you so you can listen and listen very, very carefully. We are overrunning slightly, but I want to listen to this and then to compare that to what these people have been doing and to let them understand that we are unstoppable. Now listen very carefully, please. Listen.
Lead to further violence.
Listen.
Yvette McCullough, the newsmakers.
Listen.
Okay, to discuss this, I'm joined now by Garba Shehu. He's the spokesman for Muhammadu Buhari.
Post this interview, please, on my page.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thousands of troops have been deployed to the southeast. Do you need them?
Thousands of troops deployed to the southeast, meaning Biafra land. A white journalist was asking Garba Shehu, people who don't know how far we have gone. This is once again a reminder as to how far we have gone. That news concerning IPOB makes wave all over the whole world. Because you're a black nigger, you're foolish, you're hopeless, you're a baboon, you're a monkey. Your brain cannot articulate it very well. But I'm playing it for you so you can listen, so you can hear, so you can understand how far we have gone. Okoko, Efulefu, because of the 652 million they gave to Loretta Onoche to distribute to some of you, all of you idiots, you have now discovered where your data is, where your phone is. You want to make your own video because Wasvike has made his own, the hotelier and the pig in the creek has made his own, so you want to make your own, so they can recognize you and give you some money as well. Idiots, listen to what Garba Shehu has to say about IPOB and the hypocrisy of the Fulani Janjaweed Brigade. Listen carefully, please. Listen.
The deployment of the troops to the southeast.
The deployment of the troops southeast.
A regular military exercise. There is no extraordinary plan to deploy troops. These exercises are being carried out in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the.
Tell me where else in the world the military carry out exercises in their various regions. Tell me where. There is no country, the country is not at war. They are carrying out military exercises in their own country. The man was asking him, why are you moving troops to the southeast? You have not defeated Boko Haram yet. You have not defeated Fulani banditry and Janjaweedism. Why are you sending troops? He said they conduct exercises in their own country. Those of you living in America, I ask of you, how many times have you seen the National Guard or the U.S. Army conducting exercises in Oregon or in New York in peacetime? Have you ever seen such nonsense before? Only in the zoo, because a black man's brain is sawdust, basically. We cannot reason properly. That's why the man asked him, can you tell me why you're sending troops to the southeast? He's saying it's a part of regular exercise, but they came to my house to kill me. And once they failed, the pig in the creek and the hotelier, they were not happy. Listen carefully, please.
And so therefore, there's nothing extraordinary about this one.
Nothing about it.
When people look at the tension that emerged last month, on the 50th anniversary of the start of the Biafra War that killed more than 1 million people, when they look at the tension, when they see the people out on the streets, and they see IPOB labeled a terrorist group, and they see a crackdown on them, they match the two. They see the troop deployment with all of that, and they see the government as fearing that this is going to flare up. Therefore, you want to put a lid on it.
Are you listening? Even the world knows that tagging IPOB a terrorist group is pure garbage. That was what the journalist was asking him. You have tagged it a terrorist group, and listen to the answer from this Fulani Janjaweed terrorist in Asorok, claiming he's a spokesperson for a dead Buhari. For idiots who do not listen very well. Listen, please, listen.
Do you accept and understand why people connect the two?
Well, people are entitled to their opinions. However, this military exercise was in our national budget. It was appropriated for more than a year ago. It was put into the national budget.
Liars.
When it was planned for, there was no anticipation that there would be this sort of disturbance by IPOB.
Are you listening? They did not call any other person's name. No group was mentioned. Only IPOB. This is from Garba Shehu on a live interview. I want you to understand that very well. This is the reason why Obama was saying, keep Nigeria one, keep Nigeria one. Because of the work indigenous people of Biafra are doing to disintegrate it. He cannot hide his contempt for us because we're a thorn in their flesh. Okoko, are you listening? Are you listening? Let me continue.
Has rightfully been declared a terrorist organization by the Nigerian government. It is engaged in terror activities.
Garba Shehu is saying that we are engaged in terror activities. And if we are engaged in terror activities, how come there has not been one single conviction? You have our people in detention. You take us to court every blessed day to the point that judges are now telling you to stop wasting their time with these frivolous charges. Has anyone been convicted of terrorism before? The answer is no. If you arrest the number of Fulani terrorists, if you arrest the same number of Fulani terrorists as you do with IPOB, all your prisons will be full of convicted Fulani terrorists. He's saying that IPOB is a terrorist group that they engage in terrorist activities. Efulef, are you listening? Idiots who want to make video, are you listening? Are you that foolish that you cannot reason very well? Listen.
Illegal taxation, use of weapons against the armed forces and the police.
That we are using weapons against the police.
And attack on the national institutions. So therefore, they have been declared a terrorist organization because they have clearly indicated their territorial ambitions, that they want to capture not only the states that are politically, ethnically contiguous to them, but even...
He said politically and ethnically contiguous, which means that you only find Igbo people in the 5 eastern states. Do you see how devious and deceptive Fulani is? And it's Britain that is giving them this brain. Do you see they keep repeating the same lie over and over and over? That they have gone outside. That was what I told you. I will come to later on. They have gone outside the southeast to go and get other territories. That is what makes us a terrorist group. That's what he's saying. They have declared their territorial ambition. Because of that, they're a terrorist group, according to a Fulani man. Fulani doesn't know what terrorism means because they spend their life killing people and slaughtering their animals. So they don't know what terrorism is. Terrorism is if you declare your intention to be free from the zoo, you're a terrorist. But Lugard that came and put everybody together is not a terrorist. It's those who want to go back to the way they were before the white man came. These are the Fulani people that worship white people. The same thing that happened during colonialism. They bow before them and they gave them everything. They came to our land and we stood up and we said, we don't bow before any man. They said, oh, you are stubborn, we are going to teach you. We will give power to the Fulani and we will rule you through them. And that's exactly what they're doing till this very day. Let us continue, please.
States that are neighboring, those states.
Listen.
Somebody had to act.
Somebody had to act.
So let's just put aside those who might have attacked the police and look more generally at some of the grievances of some of the people there. They feel, as ethnic Igbos, they feel discriminated against as people in their own state. They say there's no development. They say no money goes to the region. Yes. They say that President Buhari has appointed Muslims into senior positions at their expense. How do you address those grievances?
Yes.
Anyone who is knowledgeable of the facts on the ground will dismiss those claims as being mere propaganda.
And this very interview, they are showing clips, videos of IPOB, they are showing videos of my compound. This is a foreign media organization. And post this video, please, post it.
Ethnic and geographical entity.
Yes.
For instance, our constitution says there must be a federal minister in the cabinet from
Listen to the lies.
States of the federation. Each of the 5 states in that zone not only has a minister each, 4 of the 5 have senior cabinet ministers. In the case of the president, even his own state is represented in the cabinet by a junior minister. So all this talk about discrimination is politically motivated in order to black paint the government of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Let me give you the president's
Now listen to the interview
yourself, and you would know these words. You're his spokesman. He said, naturally, the constituencies that gave me 97% of the vote cannot, in all honesty, be treated in the same way as constituencies that gave me 5%. I think this is a political reality.
Exactly.
His words, not mine. So, with that in mind, can you understand why these people feel as if they're being punished for not voting for Buhari?
I was present in the hall in the United States in Washington where he made this statement. Extrapolated the context. He said, usually, normally, in the norm of politics, if they give you 95%, you expect to give them this kind of support. But he said, in my own case, I'm going to abide by the Constitution to ensure that nobody is left out. So please, the entire statement should be taken in its full context.
I will, if you want to listen to the whole of the interviews on my page, Facebook permitting is their platform. You can watch it there and make your comments and observations. This is to tell you how far we have gone way back then. Talk less of now. Our agitation is reverberating all over the whole world because we are unstoppable. And I did promise you that before the end of this year, I assure you, you will see us on CNN. And all those places you're clamoring for, you will see us there. Because we know what to do to get us there, and we are doing it. All that we can. All that we can. That tells you, that's a foreign journalist. No other people is giving the zoo headache. It's IPOB. They can label it whatever they like. The Efulefus, the idiots, the pigs can come up and say whatever nonsense they like. But we are going to shock all of them. IPOB is everywhere. IPOB is not, and I repeat, it is not exclusively an Igbo linguistic affair. And I will tell you why I'm saying that, because everybody is Igbo. I say it IGBO. Everybody, if you're a Biafran, you're Igbo. You can have a different language. You can have a different dimension to your ethnicity. All of us are Igbo. I said every Biafran is Igbo. From Edo State all the way to Bakassi, you are Igbo, IGBO. Go and do your research very well. You will come to agree with me. You can frown your face all you like. You can talk your rubbish and plan with Al Mustafa all you like. You can be a Fulani Janjaweed slave in disguise, or answering an ex-freedom fighter. That is your business. But that is the truth. We all have one ancestry, one Igbo ancestry, only one. All of us. If you're a Biafran, you are Igbo. I say it without mincing words. After all, if I go to Nsukka, I won't hear what they're saying. Nsukka, if I go to parts of Ebonyi State, I don't understand one word of what they say. The same way that I'm sure if I delve into Ibeku accent, some people may not understand me. That is the way it is. If somebody from Owerri or Ngwa speaks their typical local dialect, you cannot understand what they are saying. It doesn't mean we are different. It doesn't mean that. You can see Mary Effiot that went to, Mercy is her name, Ufot, that went to Lagos to look for a house. And they said, no, she said, no, I'm not Igbo. I'm from Akwa Ibom. They said, no, you are Igbo. All of you are the same. You have Okonko and we have Okonko. You have Ekpe and we have Ekpe. You have everything that we have. You have Ekpo and we have Ekpo. So what is the problem? Of course, we know who we are. All those lies and intimidation of years gone by cannot stand us. I want to close this very evening by pointing out one statistic for the Efulefus. Idiots who are hoping to grab a bit of money, because now is the time to, if you want part of the 165 million, do your own video now, and after that you inbox, you send it to Loreto Noche to say, can't you see what I'm saying about against Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB? Give me my own share of the money. Idiots. Go and look for work in America. Now listen very carefully to what I have to say. The indigenous people of Biafra called on the, we submitted a question to the moderator to ask Pence and Ms. Harris during the vice presidential debate in America. And please, I want these very statistics to be published on my page. I want them to understand it. The news was carried by every